Hello, Buccaneers, episode 24 of Press YYZ. You can find us on Twitter at Press YYZ, and we're live every Wednesday at 8 p.m. EST at twitch.tv/Press YYZ. I haven't hosted this in a while, so if all my co-hosts are sitting here being like, oh man, he's getting through all the rigmarole real fast, it's because, well, fuck it. This is just how I'm rolling today. I'm your host, Alexander Kazina, or Kozi, or Kozi Bear, or whatever you want to call me, and I'm joined today by the illustrious Mitch George.
I'm a swashbuckler, not a buccaneer.
AJ Fraser.
Sea of Thieves is actually pretty good. I don't know if you guys have played it.
Alex Ballant.
I didn't really like Assassin's Creed Black Flag.
And Nathan McInerney.
Oh my god, we got it right.
Well, yeah, of course.
You're gonna roll with that, okay?
You missed the pirate references. Come on.
Everyone
because we got a week off
from
from getting it wrong.
What wasn't Talk Like a Pirate Week a thing back in the day?
I think it was a day, but yeah.
What happened to that?
Sorry, I
Didn't
mean,
Google have a pirate thing?
Like, I feel like
for a while, didn't they?
Pirate Day and Shark Week, I feel like both of those used to be really popular a long time ago, and then it feels like the coronavirus kind of cleansed the internet of all holidays that aren't like actually really important.
I mean, one way or another, I wouldn't download a car, so.
Well, there's a way, there used to be a way in Google that you could change your language to pirate. Yeah. And the language would be slightly different.
I think there was like a Google Translate for pirate, like something like that. But I also remember there was something called Gizoogle, which was Google translating every web page into Snoop Dogg like speak.
I found it. I'm not going to type anything into it, but I will just show a screen view just so people are familiar with what it is.
There's also the plugin that turns everything into oohs, so you know.
Ooh.
Just because it exists doesn't mean it's good.
Speaking of which, all you guys talked about last week was friggin' Halo and Destiny.
It's not all we talked about. I talked about Persona.
Yeah, we talked about Canada.
I missed the one thing you've been talking about for the last 4 weeks.
I bet we'll talk about it again this week.
Oh, we also talked shit about the two of you for not being here.
Yeah.
I'm sorry we have lives, okay? I'm sorry we had other arrangements. Nathan has children, and I have... Go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying, my children just really want to see fireworks. We walked around the neighborhood as people lit up fireworks all around the neighborhood.
And I spent my time with my ass in a chair down by the river at the cottage and was much happier for it. It was nice to have a few days to recharge.
Sure.
Play some video games.
I guess so. Speaking of...
So I was playing some games.
So it sounds, though, to me like you had a pretty restful past week, Mitch. However, in the midst of this very restful past week, you also played a not super restful game by the name of Iron Man VR. Am I correct?
Dude, let's talk some Iron Man. Holy crap, is that game good and bad all at the same time?
Okay.
Yep.
Nathan, you've been playing it too.
Yep.
Right? And it's amazing what they were able to do. And then it's also a shame some of the shortcomings that there are, in that there were only like 6 enemy types in the entire game. I'm playing on the highest difficulty because I want to try to get the platinum, and there are trophies related to difficulty. And every time you die, there's a good minute and a half, 2-minute load.
Yeah, about that. And it's not just, it's in between every single time you transition out of environments. It's really bad.
Yeah, there was one I remember specifically from the first chapter of the game where you get ejected from the plane, and then you've got all the pieces of the suit that are flying towards you, just like they sort of did in that one movie that they did with him or whatever. And the last piece comes in, the faceplate comes in, the screen goes black, loading.
Yeah.
What the hell? Like, you've been sitting here for like 5 minutes going through this cutscene. It's a long cutscene. And they couldn't have at least loaded those assets in the back so it could have been instantaneous. Like, I understand. They're a sophomore developer. They've only developed one major title before this, that being
Republic.
Republic. So that's Camouflage Studio, for those who are unaware. And they got given a ton of money from Sony to make a game for VR out of a beloved IP. And I think they did a really good job, at least from what I've played thus far. I'm maybe 4 chapters in. I think there's 12.
Yeah,
I do want to finish it. yeah, I do still want to get the platinum because I'm having a ton of fun when I'm in the suit, maneuvering using the different weapons, and it's a lot of fun. But some of the technical hiccups or some of the limitations they've imposed in the game are jarring. But at least for me, I think it's the best VR experience I've ever had.
So
I know that.
Sorry, go ahead, Kozi.
Well, I mean, I feel like my question would be best answered after both of you share your experiences.
Okay. Like for me personally, it's not the best VR experience I've ever had. I'd still go with Astrobot, Blood and Truth. There's a few experiences I have. Is this a great VR experience? Yeah, it's probably in like the top 10. I think they've done a really good job of capturing what it's like to be Iron Man, and the way you use your repulsors to kind of move you through the air, I think is really strong, especially in conjunction with the Move controllers and how they've been able to work around the limitations of the Move controllers, because it can detect, like to fly, you literally have to put your hands down, like flat, and push them back so that you're like flying through the air.
Yeah, you're using basically where your palm is in conjunction with the triggers on the Move controller to maneuver in the air, which is really cool. It's really innovative. Not something I've seen anywhere else, and a really nice way to tackle Iron Man's movement.
And it's even like if you want to go down, I just hold my hands up like this and double press the triggers, and it forces you down. Like once you start figuring out how to maneuver around, it gets really cool. But there's like a lot of frustrations. You talked about the loading times. I think the environments are not good. I think especially like you've done Shanghai already, right, Mitch?
I would have for those. Yeah, so I've finished Shanghai, and I did the first VR mission, I think, that gets presented to you, the time trial or whatever.
And Tony's,
and I think that, in the thing,
the warehouse.
The warehouse. Thank you. And I haven't picked it back up in a couple of days just because life has been busy, and I do want to get back to it. I'm not doing anything this weekend apart from I have to go suit shopping for my wedding, which hopefully will still happen this year. And I'm getting a haircut. I'm wearing a hat tonight because I really fucking need a haircut.
Oh man, it is so nice. Let me tell you.
But outside of that, I'm putting my butt in that VR headset. Carmen can watch whatever she wants on TV, and I'll just have the PS4 on in the background, flying around like Iron Man, and I'll have a stupid smile on my face the whole time, except when it's loading.
Yeah, I think, and the thing that amazed me was I'm not getting motion sick for the most part.
Me neither.
Like, I can't play long bursts of time because I think and just in general with VR, like I can only be in the headset for so long before I need to take a break for a bit. But
I think the first night I played, I probably put like an hour and a half, 2 hours into it before I felt like the headset was weighing and I needed to take a break. But I don't typically get motion sick from VR either.
So I'm hit or miss depending upon it. The only thing, because there's a chin-up bar, you can actually explore Tony's house, which is kind of cool. And there's like weights and basketball there. And every VR game, there's somehow a basketball game where you got to throw balls into a hoop.
I had real issues with that mini game, honestly. It might just be my setup, but I could not for the life of me get it to work until I sat in a chair.
So I was able to do it standing up, but I had to like get my hand like this flat and throw the ball like this. And then it started working.
Where's your PSVR camera located? On above or below your TV?
Below. I've had more success with it being below the TV.
Mine's above the TV. So, but yeah, no, it's a really good VR experience, but it's not great. I think that's where I sit with it, just because I think in terms of VR, it's good, but there's so many things that it needs more polish. I actually think this would have been better launching as a PS5 exclusive PSVR title.
Yeah, do you think
we don't. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, just so you see, like a lot of the issues are purely coming from the technical side of just the limitations of the PlayStation 4 and not the actual game itself.
Yeah, I think it's doing so much. Like if you like in the Shanghai level, for instance, if you go down to ground level and you have to go down to ground level occasionally, you can see like the lack of textures, the lack of polish in the city. Like it's really bad. Like the load times are bad.
Kind of bad graphic.
Yeah.
Like textures.
And like Tony's Island, like Malibu Mansion looks great. So it's not like the entire game, but you can see where time was spent and where they cut corners to, I think, get the game done. And I think if with a little more polish, and honestly, something tells me this would be running much better on the SSD on the PS5.
we don't yet know if there are going to be improvements for VR titles on the PS5. They haven't talked about that really at all.
Yeah.
So it will be interesting to see what their VR approach is to next gen. For me, as a Marvel nut, a comic book fanboy, for me it is a great experience, but only in the fact that I so appreciate the license that just being Iron Man and flying around, even if it's free roam, if it's not in a mission, because you do unlock free roam at some point, it puts a stupid smile on my face and it makes me really happy.
How is the use of the license? Like, what is the story sort of like with this game?
I don't know yet.
Okay.
It has to do with the character Ghost as the villain, who was one of the villains from Ant-Man and the Wasp in the films. Yeah. I don't know. I am expecting some sort of twist at some point because they don't really reveal who it is behind the mask. Yeah. And it is really more about it has nothing to do with anything you've seen in any of the movies. So it is more so someone is coming for Tony Stark because of the things that he did around weapons manufacturing before he gave it all up. Right. So it is telling an interesting original story that brings up the sins of the past and that sort of
Isn't that every Iron Man story though?
No, it's similar. Like it's similar to the story they told in Iron Man 2, but it wasn't like, I don't know. It's one of the big marquee storylines for the character of Iron Man, so it makes sense.
Right.
But they're doing it with a unique villain and they're doing it in a different way, which I appreciate it.
What I wanted to ask way earlier on is, without going into any spoilers, does it appear that this game is leaving open space for a sequel? And if so, or if not, either way, what would you want most out of a sequel?
I think it's too early to say whether they're leaving more for a sequel, just because I'm not done the game yet.
Okay.
I said the exact same thing.
Yeah.
But in just in terms of, it being a comic book game, I'm sure even if there aren't direct ties to this one in a sequel, comic books are rife with serial stories that you could tell in this universe, in its own universe, whatever you want to do. So I'm sure if they see success with this, which I'm sure we'll see numbers in a couple of weeks in terms of what sales look like, and then we can speculate on that, whether or not Camouflage will get another shot at this.
Sony only releases their numbers when they're proud of it, though. So if we don't see numbers, then that also is going to be very telling.
Exactly. That's why I think within the next couple of weeks we'll have an idea.
We'll see top 10 charts. I was actually working in for a few hours in a Best Buy on the day it came out, and I saw PSVR bundles walking out of the store for the game.
Promising, because who's going to stores right now?
Yeah. So I think as far as VR titles, we'll see the top 10 best-selling PSN titles. Let's be honest, there's a physical copy, but most people go digital on PSVR. Yeah. It's just easier not having to switch discs out. So when we see the PSN's top downloads, it should be number one, would be my guess. I think they've done a good job marketing the game. So we'll see.
I'm a sucker for it. I went and got the digital deluxe edition because I like having the dynamic theme and having the Iron Man music playing. Even when I'm just in the menu makes me happy.
That's the problem.
That just shows you how much of a suck I am.
Right. You don't get those things when you get the codes usually.
Yeah, but you also didn't have to. Yeah, so full disclosure, the copy Nathan played was provided by PlayStation. Mine was not. I went out and bought that by PlayStation.
Just one final question. How likable is Iron Man in this game? Because it can always be kind of hit or miss with the portrayal of him. How do you like the actual personality of Iron Man?
It's pretty likable.
Cool.
So far.
So an interesting plot point in the game is that you're interacting with an old AI that he built when he was still doing weapons manufacturing that is modeled after himself. And that guy's annoying as hell. So it's interesting seeing this dichotomy of Tony Stark before and after becoming Iron Man. And I really like that portrayal or that personification of Tony Stark before, because you don't see a lot of interesting takes on what Tony was like before he became Iron Man. So I really like that. And I look forward to telling you more about this game for the next couple of weeks.
Do we know if this Iron Man is going to be the same Iron Man coming up in the Avengers game or no?
No.
Not at all.
I think they're separate.
I would assume they're all each developer gets their own take on the license. So I wouldn't expect to see the Insomniac Spider-Man pop up in Marvel's Avengers. You might see Spider-Man, but it won't be their Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Although I would expect a Spider-Man costume being available.
Oh, that totally makes sense. Yeah. It would have to be platform exclusive, but at the same time, why not?
There's a possibility that Iron Man crosses over into Spider-Man just because they're both kind of Sony properties. That would be interesting to see. because they're both being developed by like Sony first party studio, not first party. but,
Camouflage is in first party, but it
It's
is
not
being
first party.
published by Sony, so it is a second party release for PlayStation.
So that's possible.
Well, Tony Stark created an AI, and unfortunately, it seems like it was pretty annoying. But someone else in this room created something, and it seems pretty sweet. Alex Ballant, why don't you tell us all about this video that you made about Persona 5?
Ooh, okay. So
Don't you dare spoil anything.
I'm not gonna. I can't really talk to. I can only.
So
talk very,
the video
very...
says this includes video spoilers for Persona 5, but I also have it muted. So
I would suggest not going very much for. I would suggest even stopping it right now. I would very much highly.
But isn't it just going to cut to like you talking about the game?
It's going to cut to footage of the game and a spoiler.
No. Well,
stop the video, please.
That's unfortunate. No, that's fine.
I'm leaving this show if you don't stop it.
Okay. Oh, come on. Do you remember the time during the Final Fantasy VII spoiler cast you left and we just talked about random nonsense? Like, you are way too sensitive about spoilers.
You need me.
No.
So, very surface level, it's about Persona 5 Royal in particular. It's about the very sort of like the third semester of the game, and one of the characters that plays a very important role in that, and how there's kind of a dilemma sort of in the forefront, like of the theme of that whole section. And I thought it was very interesting, and I related it very highly to some not super great stuff that's happening in my life right now, and how I'm kind of using it to cathartically start the healing process. You can maybe kind of assume what it is by just even the name of the video. Regardless, I don't want to go into too much detail about it.
Is it all the greasiness?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's just the pure Vaseline that I rubbed all over myself before the podcast started.
Yeah. You got to fight against the power.
Yeah. I'm really, really happy with the video. I knew sort of making it that like 90% of the people who start watching it, because I put a direct like this has spoilers to Persona 5 Royal. I immediately was like, I know more than half of the people are going to turn this off right here. Not even just because most people probably don't give a shit about Persona who know me, but also just because of the spoilers. So I was mostly just making it for me. But speaking of which, speaking of Persona as well, the only real thing that I did besides make this video, because I kind of made the video as soon as I sort of had the idea to make this video, I took like 3 days and I made it.
Cool.
So yeah, it's the fastest I've ever made something. And I'm actually really happy with the overall quality of it. If and when you have the opportunity and you either don't give a shit about spoilers, because if you don't give a shit about spoilers, then I do explain what's going on relatively well. But if you do care, then wait till you finish Persona 5 Royal, but then check it out, because I think I did a really good job with it. And that's not just to like pat myself on the back. I think I put a lot of effort into it.
A physical copy of that, right?
Yes.
And like, you've now completed it, correct?
I got the platinum trophy in it. And let me tell you, after it's my 9th platinum after The Last of Us Part 2. And
Still gotta get that one.
Yeah. It's let me tell you, putting 140 hours into Persona 5 Royal was a very interesting experience. I would not recommend anyone do it if Persona 5 Royal is your first playthrough, but I'm actually really genuinely happy I got the original ending to Persona 5 first and then got to see what was added next, because it really made me appreciate all the changes that they made, because that last third of the game there's so many fundamental changes to how the story is presented and what's going on that it really is worth knowing, having the perspective of the original game versus Royal. It's just you have to put at least 140 hours into it, and most people can't even do that in the first, or like most people can't even put 100 hours into a normal run of Persona 5. So
had me until you said that.
Yeah.
Without getting too deep into spoilers, I realize I've been asking that question a lot tonight, but is the way that they present things in the final third of the game similar to Final Fantasy VII Remake, where there's sort of like this acknowledgement that like things were different on like a previous cycle, and or you understand what I'm getting at, right?
I do get what you mean. Kind of. I don't want to go into too much details, but like it might just be because I was so acutely aware of what happened in the original ending of Persona 5 that every time something was different, it was very much like stand out in my mind. So I'm not 100% sure if I was going in blind with just P5R, that would I have known what was different and what wasn't. So that's kind of my most like as like tiptoeing around the spoilers as
no, it's totally fine. Totally fine.
Yeah. I'm trying to be like especially aware because I know that both Nathan is currently playing it and also Private Jeebus in the Twitch chat. So I want to be very
Private Jeebus. AJ,
I also want to play it at some point.
Anyways, AJ.
My favorite game of the year.
Yeah, everybody just talk over me. Talk over the host. You let me host after a million years, and it's just I say something, you guys are like, oh, hold on, let me say something small and inconsequential just so I can talk over Alex.
You know how I feel when I host.
Wasn't it better when it was just the three Alexanders?
It was. Oh, 100%.
I listened to the episode. It couldn't have been.
AJ.
Debatable. Yes.
See, you tried to talk over me, but it didn't work. I managed to elude your debate.
I see the difference is I catch myself and then I just let you have the time. So,
what have you been up to?
I mentioned last week that I fell back into Minecraft, and I've still been doing that mostly. Like I've had urges to play other things, like Civilization. I've had that urge. I haven't booted it up yet, but I might do that soon. But yeah, no. Minecraft, I've been exploring the world around this little settlement that I created, and I've been, making maps and like filling them out, and I've got this like 4 map board on that I just made on like in the game in the world, and just trying to fill out the map so that I know the geography of everything around me. And I found like 6 other villages that are like not too far away, and that was fun. Yeah, I got brave and I booted up my Stadia again. I know, crazy.
Was it covered in dust?
Surprise.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I know. I blew the dust off my Stadia controllers, and no, actually, I used my mouse and keyboard on this. There's a game called Creta on I think it's out on some other things too, but I've only seen it on Stadia.
Spelled Crayta, by the way.
Correct. And okay, so it's a bit of a creation tool that takes like
just to add,
what?
Sorry, it is only available right now for Stadia.
Okay. It came with Stadia Pro, so that's how I have it. But yeah, it's a bit of a creation tool. I thought, just from like the screen alone, that it would be, I don't know, a little closer to something like a Dreams or a Project Spark on the Xbox or something
Core?
like that. But it
what about
seemed,
Core?
Or Core, yeah. But what it actually seems like is like somebody saw the Fortnite World Builder and took that and said, okay, make your own games that kind of use something similar to this, right? And so overall, I don't think it's very good, but maybe that's just because it's only on Stadia right now and not a lot of people have it. One of the intriguing games in it that I found was it was one of the more popular ones. It was like an object hunt, right? So every person, like every player, I think there were 10 players in this quote unquote match. It was like 9v1. Every other player was an object in the world. Like they took control of an object, and they had to run around the world and try not to get caught. They had to
it's Prop Hunt from Gmod.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah, Prop Hunt. That's it. I didn't play much Gmod. But yeah, that's the kind of stuff that they're doing with it, which is interesting in its own way. It as like a fun, neat little toy. But I don't think you could ever necessarily make anything in this that had legs and took off.
You can use your keyboard and mouse to edit terrain in this, correct?
I think so. I booted up the creation tools in it, and it was incredibly underexplained and overwhelming. And I just closed it. So
okay, because I'm watching a like developer live stream, basically going through like a tutorial of the game, and I'm noticing that all the like button prompts are for the Stadia controller, which I've never been fond of like creation software that requires you to use a controller. I'd much rather just use keyboard and mouse, but I'm assuming that that is indeed an option.
Yeah, everything that I've played on the Stadia has had the option to use a mouse and keyboard.
Cool.
So
Private Jeebus brought this up in the chat, and I just kind of want to echo it. It looks so much like Fortnite, and I'm so, like, I've said this multiple weeks in a row now, I'm so fucking sick of this art style.
Wait,
Like,
I was going to say, don't you like that art style? I thought you liked it.
Like, with Fortnite, it was fine, but because Fortnite's the most popular game in the world, now everyone has to fucking emulate it, and it's like, Jesus Christ, you're not going to stand out.
Got one coming to the PS5, and there was that one EA announced that looks fucking just like
Rocket
Fortnite.
Arena, I for some reason have that
Whatever.
encyclopedic in my mind. I can just remember the fucking name
I
of
feel
all
bad
these
for you.
isn't
garbage games.
Ubisoft on the verge of putting one out for real now too?
Yeah, there's that other, the Battle Royale one that Ubisoft is going to do. Like, I just...
Hyperscape.
We're gonna talk
Yeah,
about
that's
Ubisoft in a
Hyperscape.
bit. We should probably keep moving.
I just wish that, like, just... It's like in the 7th generation when every game was trying to look like Call of Duty and it was all gray. Now gray and brown are like actually distinct when a game looks like that instead of looking like this poppy Fortnite garbage.
Yeah.
Just like the fact that you could put all of these games, like you put screenshots from all these games, and I bet 9 out of 10 people couldn't differentiate any of the games because they all look the same is a problem.
Absolutely. Like, I feel, it looks like they took the wrong appeal of Fortnite and tried to make a creation tool out of it. And I'm just looking at the pop-up start screen right now, and it's just, I'm just like, I just
also like, why make, I'm not going to talk about this much more but like, why make a creation tool that's only exclusive on Stadia? Like, literally no one's gonna use it.
I mean,
Google
that's
probably
not...
made them a good deal.
That's got to be the only reason.
Exactly why.
But like, your game's going to be dead on arrival.
Can I say something real quick?
You have
So we
permission.
can stop talking about Stadia. I've been drinking this Vine Botanicals hop-infused sparkling water that I got with a meal kit. And it tastes as bad as it sounds.
Okay, well, I'm happy. See, I don't love sparkling water in general, so I'm happy that you echoed my feelings.
I love sparkling water, but this one tastes like...
I mean...
I don't want it to go to waste. It tastes like beer, but it's not beer, and it's pointless in that way.
Anyways,
we can move on now.
Yeah, we can all agree that like the artistic style of Fortnite is a little bit overdone, which is one of the reasons why I am really in love with a certain video game series called Apex Legends. I'm going to keep my Apex talk short and sweet. Basically, I downloaded the PC version of the game because I had long said that I would give the PC version a shot after really coming to love the game on PS4. Fortunately, I discovered that none of your progress carries over to the PC version. No character skin unlocks, no straight up character unlocks, and it's really put a damper on me wanting to fully switch over to that platform. I'm still going to try it out a bit. In fact, the stream that I'm going to do after this stream is going to be me playing the PC version exclusively for a little bit, but I don't know whether or not I'll stick with that version of the game. I'll say that much.
Yeah, they better have cross progression ready for Apex 2.
So here's the thing.
On cross play, right? So they must
cross play,
cross progression at the same time.
Well, and I did research into the cross progression stuff, and basically the last word on it is that when they set up Apex originally, they didn't really build it in mind with cross progression as a future possibility. So unfortunately, it seems like I'm probably not going to be able to make much headway in that regard. Another little game that I've been playing as well on stream has been a little game by the name of Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix. You might remember that in the last podcast that we were recorded, I made note of the fact that basically I put out a Twitter poll asking whether I should attempt a Twilight Princess run on Hero Mode with the Ganondorf amiibo or a Kingdom Hearts 2 run where I remain continuously at level 1 and play the game on Critical Mode. People ended up voting for the latter, and so far it's challenging, but I am making steady enough progress. I have not gotten to a lot of the harder later endgame fights, but we'll get there when we get there.
Are you going to beat it?
I'm going to try to beat it. I think, here's what I'm thinking. I'll definitely make a huge push to beat it at, like I said, level 1 critical mode. I think that all of the like end game bosses, like the Organization 13 data fights, which are like these really hard bosses that you can only fight after you beat the game, I think those I'm only really going to I'll attempt those at level 1, and then if I'm just having a hard time, I'll go ahead and level up.
Alex looks so mad right now that we're talking about Kingdom Hearts.
Are you get I know you voted for it 3 times, so
I did, and that's what I was going to say. Is the only thing I heard live last week on twitch.tv/PressYYZ is the fact that that poll existed, and you know sure as shit I went and stuffed that ballot box for Kingdom Hearts. So that Kozi would talk about it for a few weeks. And
even without those 3 extra votes, it probably would have still been Kingdom Hearts 2.
I mean, just playing the normal game is torturous enough. Why do you put yourself through the extra?
I'm going to make you play that game someday, Alex.
Oh god, Extra Life.
I mean, I totally understand, speedrunners and like eventually just get good enough at a game that you're like, how can I continue to challenge myself? Now, before we go into the news, I know Nathan and Mitch that there were a couple more things that you wanted to tackle. Obviously, I don't want to spend too much time talking about everything that we did over the past week, but if there's anything that you feel is especially pertinent that you want to dive into right here, right now, let's do it.
Alex, we need to address Nathan's Halo crimes.
Yeah, there's a big elephant in the room.
Wait,
here.
Okay, so let me get through my
the elephant in the room is that
Xbox exclusives that I've played, and then we'll talk. How about that?
Okay,
I'm going to control this narrative. So I now have a computer that I can play video games on, and I have 4 months worth of Game Pass for PC free. So I thought I'd try some Xbox exclusives as quickly as I could on Game Pass. So here are my quick snippets. I tried Halo. Maybe I'll go back to it. I'm in a Warthog thing, Halo 1.
Okay.
I got out of the ship and then it crash landed, and then I'm in a Warthog after fighting alien things that look ridiculous. And I can't figure out where to go with this Warthog because I don't see an exit to this valley that I'm supposed to go. I went to these underground caverns, and it looks like there's a thing for a sword that you've got to put an energy sword in. And I don't know what that's about, but I can't get out of this valley, so I turned that off. And then I tried Forza Horizon 4, and I really like Forza Horizon 4. It's Forza Horizon 4.
Pizza.
It's a very fun game, very arcadey. I like the open world to it. I put a little bit of time in there. I tried Ori and the Blind Forest. It's a decent looking Metroidvania. I want to put more time into that one. And what?
Have you tried Gears yet?
No. Oh, is that Xbox exclusive?
Yeah, it's not great.
Are you serious?
Gears 4 is great.
Gears is fucking awesome.
Okay, I bought an Xbox 360 in like the last year of its life for Halo 4 and Gears 3, and regret that purchase to this day.
Well, that's because you were playing Halo 4. Don't lump Gears of War into that.
So, because I got them at the same time. I didn't enjoy either.
I tried Killer Instinct. That was the one game that I wanted to play on Xbox because when I was a kid, I played Killer Instinct on my Super Nintendo like nobody's business. It was my favorite fighting game. And I have to say, I'm like, it's subpar.
I forget who created it, who made this new one originally, but I know Iron Galaxy has taken it over since then, and they've put a bunch of work into it. And it's not necessarily my favorite fighter, but it's fine.
Yeah, like it's fine. Now the one problem I do have, the program I'm using to trick my DualShock into thinking it's Xbox controller doesn't seem to do diagonals properly on the stick.
Oh no.
So it only jumps straight up and down. It won't jump in like diagonals, which makes fighting games a problem because I tried that with I had the same issues with the Power Rangers game on Game Pass too. So
I'd say you could pick up an Xbox controller, but the D-pad on that wouldn't solve any of your problems either.
If you got the Elite controller,
I don't want to
like
spend $200 to play fucking Game Pass.
hell yeah.
I don't want to
It's a
spend
free
money.
trial.
I don't want to spend money on an Xbox controller. So I don't know. The other games seem to be fine with it, but fighting games on Game Pass don't seem to work if you don't have the Xbox controller. So so there's my Xbox menageries. I reviewed Throw Anything for PS4blog.net. It's a good VR experience hampered by Move controllers because you can't turn around. The whole object is zombies are climbing up a building, and you have to throw things down from behind you at the zombies as they're climbing up. And literally, you can throw anything in the game. So that is the literal conceit of the game as you try and knock the zombies off. I don't know why they don't take the stairs, honestly. But it's a fine VR experience. It's just awkward because you continually have to turn around, and the Move controllers don't do 360-degree motion really well.
I feel bad for the people that are getting thrown downwards.
Oh, well, you're supposed to save them, but you can throw them if they're annoying. And then the final Animal Crossing update for the week, they have added swimming to Animal Crossing, so now you can swim, go into the ocean, and you can find sea creatures in the ocean, and it's really fun. So
has it reinvigorated your love for Animal Crossing?
It did, honestly, yes.
I have not turned Animal Crossing on since probably the beginning of May, when we were still checking our nips every day. Yeah, and you know, I've heard that the swimming. There's one big problem with the swimming thing, and that your swimsuit is not an outfit; it's an item.
It's an item, but it's a tool, but they won't let you put it on your tool ring either. Because
you have to go into your menu and
you have to go into your inventory, add it on, and then if you want to take it off, you've got to go down to your suit, like to where your clothes are in the inventory, and then de-equip it.
Oh my god. Why?
Can we just stop talking about Animal Crossing and talk about the best thing that happened to the world this week? And that is the fact that you released Hamilton on Disney Plus.
Yes.
Please.
So that Kozi?
Probably not.
You know, you're in luck. I actually did pull up a video of this beforehand.
Oh my god, how good is Hamilton on Disney Plus, Nathan?
It's so good. Oh my god.
Anyone who needs to watch this. I had planned that the first show I was going to miss of Press YYZ was going to be the day that I had tickets to see Hamilton. Obviously, that didn't happen. So this kind of
wonder why.
I wonder why. There's only a global pandemic going on. But it is as good as everyone has ever said it is. The music is phenomenal. The performance, I'm glad we get to see these performances because I wouldn't have seen the original Broadway cast perform, and Daveed Diggs in particular, who plays
Thomas
Jefferson, and what's the name of the French guy? Lafayette. Thank you.
Yes.
He does a phenomenal job. His comedic timing and his delivery in the rap and hip hop tracks, amazing. Everyone who can, everyone has access to Disney Plus. It is worth paying for 1 month of Disney Plus if you do not have it, just to watch this show.
Is it better than the hand cam version of Hamilton I watched on Pornhub?
I hate you.
Yes.
I hate you right now.
Yes.
Is it better than the single player campaign for Lost Planet 2?
I've never played that.
I don't care. It is.
I assume yes.
Is it better than Batman's Batmobile in the first of Christopher Nolan's Batman trilogy?
Yeah, because that's a vehicle and this is an actual performance.
Yes. Also, some of the people surprised me in it, like Jonathan Groff's in it, who voices Kristoff in the Disney movies and was also in Glee and
Mindhunter on Netflix.
Netflix. And him as the King George was amazing.
Yeah, again, comedic timing is through the roof with his character. Go watch this, please. I know it's almost 3 hours long, which is a lot of time to commit to anything.
Hashtag
but we all play video games for passion. So if you can do that, you can go watch this. Find your loved one. I've already watched it twice. It came out last week and I've watched it twice. So
Yeah.
you can do it. I believe in you. Go watch this thing, please. It's
Now
so
I need
good.
Disney to buy the Book of Mormon and publish that.
Well, I'm hoping this leads to a sorry, Kozi, one last thing and then it's all yours. I hope this leads to a trend of more studios or services or whatever buying the rights to redistribute stage performances, because theater is such a unique medium, and I feel like the more people get exposed to it, even if it is at home, the better off we all are. Especially like Book of Mormon is my favorite musical of all time, and I would die to have the original cast performance somewhere, anywhere. Give it to me now.
Yeah, I've never seen the Book of Mormon, and it's one of those ones I want to see. Give me more musicals.
I'm regarding Hamilton with the same, but the reality is that I'm sure that I would love it if I saw it. The problem is that in my household, my parents already started watching Hamilton, and usually when my parents tend to watch things on the Roku, it tends to be just like bottom of the barrel stuff like Star Trek Enterprise or season 27 of The Simpsons. And so when I saw them watching Hamilton, my brain half went like, oh, it's off limits now. I know that's not
Kozi,
actually
please,
true,
for
but
me.
look, I'm not interested in having a Hamilton spoiler cast if that's what you were about to get onto, but I will watch
We're
it.
gonna do it. We just won't do it with you.
Spoiler: he dies.
All right, you can go ahead and yeah. I mean, I already knew that. I already spoiled myself.
They spoiled that in the first 30
when they had
the first song of the musical.
When they had the big Hamilton leak a few months ahead of the official release of Hamilton, I couldn't wait, and so I indulged myself in the leaks.
Yeah, the leak from 1780.
Yeah, the leaks. The thing is that the leaks didn't fully give away exactly what happened in the entirety of Hamilton, but it spoiled some pretty major plot points, and it was pretty upsetting.
I'm done spewing my usual Disney Plus talk, so you take this thing back over and you drive us right into the news.
Let's talk about the news. That's a good point, Mitch. Apparently, Microsoft is reportedly against publishers from charging for Xbox Series X upgrades. This is a story on gamesindustry.biz by James Batchelor. I'm going to just read sort of the top of this article and then we'll get into it. Microsoft has reportedly been telling developers and publishers that they are not allowed to charge players who wish to upgrade from the Xbox One version of their games to Xbox Series X. It's according to sources speaking to Video Games Chronicle, which reports the Xbox is encouraging companies to offer free next-gen upgrades either via its smart delivery initiative or their own scheme. What do we think?
The other thing to bring up here is that we've already seen NBA 2K21's pricing come out for next gen, and everything about that is stupid. I'm not looking.
I just don't like the charging extra for the smart delivery option is very scummy, but as well the having it tied to the Black Mamba edition, which is the Kobe Bryant edition of this game, and sort of profiting off of his tragic death from the beginning of this year, just seems like an extra. Yeah, it was February, I think.
Man.
But yeah, it just feels like that extra layer of scummy that I'm come to expect from 2K. Just wanted to highlight that. I think it's really
I agree with you 100% there. It's so bad what they're doing with that. And if I can see this being the same as we've seen previous price increases, at least in Canada, if a publisher decides, hey, now's the time to bump the price. If people pay it, then we're going to go with it. So if 2K21 sells well on next gen, I would expect all publishers to jump on the bandwagon of bringing the price up an additional $10. Which I know doesn't seem like a big deal in the US, where they're taking the price from $60 to $70, but that's going to be a $90 game before tax in Canada. And that's going to be a lot harder to stomach for a lot of people who I know enjoy this hobby. That will have to be a lot more conscious about the decisions they make. So I'm glad to see Microsoft taking a stand of, hey, you're not allowed to charge anything extra for these upgrades, but seeing the way companies are going around it is kind of scummy.
Yeah, so sorry. The timeline of this seems to be like Microsoft tried to get ahead of it by announcing the smart delivery thing, and people got confused unnecessarily about it because it was kind of straightforward. It made sense to me anyway. And then 2K does this, and then Microsoft trying to coming out and saying, hey, no, you guys shouldn't do this, almost felt like a reaction to the NBA 2K thing. And I don't know.
I mean, it is, but at the same time, Microsoft is saying that they're working with publishers and developers on their own scheme to not charge more, but this gatekeeping it behind an enhanced edition is one way to do it. And I know we've also seen, what was the other one? Madden. They're doing their own version of smart delivery, where the game, until the next one comes out for Madden 21, that will be free to upgrade to next gen, but only until the next one comes out. So it's like they're working with publishers and developers to do their own thing. Whereas if they just enforced smart delivery as a medium, we'd probably all be happier for it, and you'd probably see a lot more people go the Xbox route leading up to the start of next gen.
This is why smart delivery doesn't matter, because Xbox didn't make it mandatory. At the end of the day, like people get to the developers get to choose what they do. And if they're going to like take the scummy route, they're going to take the scummy route, and there's nothing that can be done about it. I think it's one of those things where it's nice that it's going to be done in a few titles. Most of them aren't going to get it. So the Xbox first party titles will all offer smart delivery. You're going to see a few good developers out there do it. You're going to have EA's probably not going to take that. Well, they're doing the weird upgrade thing within the year, I believe.
Vote with your wallet. Basically.
Hey, we can always, rest easy at night knowing that this trend of developers beginning to charge a little more for their games won't become a widespread thing across the industry, right?
I mean, I think it could and it should. To be honest, I think games are more expensive to make now than they ever have been.
Yeah. I mean, I don't disagree.
Games, if they're going to charge a little more for some experiences, so be it.
I mean, I don't disagree. I see the problem as developers where it's like, I don't know if necessarily you're justified in asking more money for your game, asking more money for their game just because everyone else around them is doing it.
Yeah, I hope, I know that this is very unlikely, but I really hope that we start seeing more like skewed prices of like, does this game deserve to be $90? If it does, then make it $90, and then if it deserves to be more than that, then make it more than that. Like, charge for how much your game is actually worth. And I think, but I don't see. I feel like if they can if the publishers can get away with charging the most amount, then they will.
A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, this little platform that we're currently streaming on by the name of Twitch had a certain individual on it by the name of Ninja. Ninja made the leap over the Mixer. Mixer went the way of the Dodo. And so, following Mixer's shutdown, Twitch's former top streamer has moved platforms once more, this time to YouTube. This is a story courtesy of Rebecca Valentine on GamesIndustry.biz once more. Popular streamer Ninja Tyler Blevins, or Tyler Ninja Blevins, whichever version you prefer, appears to now be streaming on YouTube following the planned shutdown of his previous home Mixer. At press time, Ninja was actively streaming on YouTube along with YouTube exclusive streamer Jack Courage Dunlop, I don't know if that's how you actually pronounce his name, and Twitch streamers Timothy Tim the Tatman Bitar, or Bitar, or Batar, and Benjamin Dr. Lupo. Pretty sure I got the next one. No public mention has been made yet of a potential exclusivity deal with YouTube. It is possible that Blevins may be preparing to make the platform his new streaming home. My only real thought on this at the moment is that, so in the wake of Dr. Disrespect's strange banning from Twitch, there is a conspiracy theory going around that him, Ninja, and a bunch of other prominent streamers were planning on starting their own streaming platform, and that basically that was part of the reason why Dr. Disrespect got banned from Twitch. I'm guessing that conspiracy theory is now officially false. So, remains to be seen what's going to move there. Dr. Disrespect
got banned because he's an asshole.
Well, I mean,
with an asshole community.
I mean, we still literally don't know there. I still love to know, by the way, what happened there. Unfortunately, there hasn't been much progress in that regard, but we'll have to wait and see. Back to the Ninja news. I mean, good for him.
He was never going back to Twitch after they showed porn on his channel. It was literally this or Facebook, right? So it makes sense.
Him and Twitch had a messy breakup.
So what was that, Nathan?
I can see him going back to Twitch. Hulk Hogan went back
to the porn thing?
Yeah, Hulk Hogan went back to the WWE, and
that also wasn't a good thing.
Well, no, not when before the racist stuff.
Okay, yeah, you have to be specific. There's a Hogan before the racist stuff and a Hogan after the racist stuff.
Like Hall and Nash left the WWE and they went back. like bad breakups happen. And then like Jeff Jarrett is a producer in the WWE now. I keep using the WWE a lot, but bad breakups happen all the time there. But yeah, no, bad things happen. You know what makes it better? Money. So
if Twitch showed up at my door with a buttload of more money than YouTube did, then I'd be taking the Twitch money. But I'd be a bit sour about it after they kind of like the fallout from that breakup with the disparaging his name and the broadcasting porn on his channel it's hard to come back from.
Yeah.
But it is still the most popular streaming platform, like even more popular than YouTube. So,
like,
and that's well, go ahead.
I was just gonna say we're gonna see Ninja someday back on Twitch in some shape or form.
Probably.
If Twitch still exists.
Probably. What I want to say though is like, do you think that his move towards YouTube and also the move of a bunch of these other streamers towards YouTube, do you think that it is going to kind of bolster YouTube's reputation as a reputable streaming site, or do you think it's going to kind of remain in this weird nether realm where technically a lot of people do stream on YouTube, but YouTube is not really looked on as a streaming platform?
Well, YouTube Gaming is dead, right?
Yeah,
because it had YouTube Gaming, which is a separate channel. I believe they've killed that, correct?
Yeah, it was like a separate app that you could download that would focus on gaming content, but like you've got a tab that you can click on in the normal YouTube app, so it didn't necessarily need to exist.
So it's just redundant.
I think so.
I think these big streamers going to YouTube is going to do as well for YouTube as it did for Mixer, in that it won't and it doesn't matter, and Twitch is still going to remain king.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think we can all agree that it remains to be seen exactly what happens soon involving Ninja and his streaming efforts. However, unfortunately, I think it'll be quite some time before a definitive statement can be said on the future of EVO, because EVO 2020 has been cancelled again.
This makes me sad.
Digital Evo was canceled this time.
Yeah, this is courtesy of VentureBeat.com. It's an article written by Mike Minotti. EVO is the biggest fighting game event of the year. This year's show had to go online due to the pandemic, but now that too is cancelled after companies and competitors pulled out following recent sexual abuse scandals involving the tournament's organizer. Jolie Keeler, who was president of EVO, has been accused of preying on young boys in the 90s and 2000s. EVO announced Wednesday that it had pulled Keeler on administrative leave, and then today revealed that he's gone from the organization outright. Here's the last thing I'll say. EVO gave GameSpeak the following statement. Over the past 24 hours, in response to serious allegations recently made public on Twitter, we've made the first of a series of important decisions regarding the future of our company. Effective immediately, Joey will no longer be involved in EVO in any capacity. We're currently working towards his complete separation from the company and never leaves him involved his responsibilities. And then, they talk about how they're going to continue to make progress. It can't happen overnight, but they're listening to the community and are going to make the changes necessary to make it a more inclusive and positive and less predatory space.
Yeah.
Still talking about this?
If you just go to the Smash Brothers subreddit, like it's really bad for that.
Did they have to do what they did with the Last of Us subreddit, where they had to make a second Last of Us subreddit for people that wanted to be shenanigans?
Well, I don't know if it went that far.
The Smash community's been hit by a bunch of predators too, including Zero, right?
Yeah. But all the major prominent ones, it sounds like something has come out against them in some way, shape, or form.
I'm glad we're having these conversations and these terrible people are being shown the door. I hate that we still have to have these conversations, because that means there's still these terrible people in the world. Be better.
Okay, so is there a chance we see EVO 2021? Can they rebound as they expel this guy from their organization?
They're going to have to try, but yeah. I don't know what the stigma around the brand now will be.
I would say if somebody else comes up to fill the void left by EVO 2020, similarly to what we've seen with E3, I don't think E3 is going to be back in any significant capacity because of what Jeff Keighley's done with Summer Game Fest. I don't think EVO comes back if somebody comes to fill the space.
I just don't know what fills that space beyond doing smaller invitationals. Like, because the rumor was Mortal Kombat wasn't involved in the original Evo lineup, and then when they switched to all digital because they dropped Smash out of the digital version because Nintendo's doesn't understand online, they added Mortal Kombat back in. So I actually enjoy the Evo event, and I like watching competitive fighting games, especially when you get into finals. So if it's not this, I hope something does fill the void. I'm kind of hoping if they've dispelled the bad guy, that maybe they can resurrect this, but I don't know what that looks like. So
like you just mentioned how, Nintendo doesn't really understand online, and hence why Smash Bros. Didn't really make the cut this year. Do we nonetheless think that there's any possibility that Nintendo might step up to the plate and be like, hey, we're going to go from remaining relatively hands-off in EVO to actually going pretty hands-on and helping fund and organize this? Because
no.
I mean, it would
that
just
happened,
be Smash Bros.
I would eat a shoe.
Nintendo technically still has their own Nintendo World Championship.
Yes,
yeah.
But that's a live in-person thing. That's not like online.
If Nintendo smartens up with regards to online, they could do it theoretically.
But they'd have to rebuild their entire structure for everything to do that.
Yeah, but it's doable.
I'd love it. I mean, I think that we're all pretty much in agreement here that it's a long shot, but I'd love it if they took a little bit of initiative there. I think that they could make something really cool, but obviously it remains to be seen.
I think you're more likely to see Capcom or NetherRealms step up and try and fill that void of being the two major publishers.
You know what? Maybe this is where Microsoft needs to step in with something like their Killer Instinct and, take advantage of that space. They just need their own foothold there. Somewhere, do something, Microsoft. I don't know.
Evo was even bringing back Marvel vs. Capcom 2 this year. Oh,
I love Marvel. So I've been watching a streamer that does a lot of fighting game content, and I want it so bad. I'm so bad at them, but I love the game so much.
Yeah,
man, pedophiles ruin everything.
They do.
Yeah, they kind of do.
It remains to be seen whether or not Microsoft is going to be playing a bigger hand in EVO in the future and helping organize things and, help it from the ashes of its destruction. However, we do know that on July 23rd, the little company by the name of Microsoft is going to be hosting the Xbox Game Showcase.
Halo.
What if there's no Halo at this event at all?
Well, one, they're fucking filthy liars. I will find Phil Spencer and I will make him show it to me. Just like, I can't wait to watch it. Inevitably get disappointed when Master Chief sprints, but then, still be excited for the game when for what they show. They need to, this needs to be the deep dive. Yes, Microsoft has a lot that they need to prove themselves for. They need to prove why you should buy a Series X, what their next few years are going to be, because there's been this buildup that Microsoft's been doing by purchasing all these studios and forming the initiative, all of these things that they've been doing the last couple of years, having Phil Spencer come on, have Game Pass become this thing. This is the moment, and we say this I've said this the last 3 E3 conferences that they've done, but this is actually for real the moment that they need to put up or shut up. Because if they don't blow us away, then I think the Series X will have a very similar fate to the Xbox One.
Alex, can I ask you a question?
Of course.
What happens if this isn't good? What does that do for the fan base?
Halo or just Xbox?
Just the Xbox event.
I really think it will be a similar fate to the Xbox One. There will be dedicated people to get it, but PlayStation can just run away with it because we know what we're getting day one. We know what we're getting 2021, even 2022, even though those games are technically not announced. It's you can figure we're getting a God of War. We're getting something new from Naughty Dog. We're getting something new from Sucker Punch. We'll get these games that we might not know what they're called yet. And then 2021, it's we got Horizon, we got Ratchet and Clank. 2020, we've got Spider-Man Miles Morales. So it's Microsoft needs to show that they have the next at least 2 years of games ready to go. You need to because 2020 you're set. Halo. We know that that's what's coming 2020.
Do we?
But we need to Halo
Do
is
we, Alex?
We don't know that.
I mean,
Do we know if it's going to come in a state that it is playable and good in 2020? We don't know that. It might be good by like 2022 after some updates.
Halo Infinite has been in developer for 5 fucking years. If it's not ready to be played at day 1, then 343 is a lost goddamn cause.
Maybe it's in development hell.
We're gonna live react to this, right? I need to see Alex's reaction to this on Twitch.
100%.
Yeah, I'm taking
What if they pull a Sega Saturn and they're like, hey, the Xbox Series X is out today and Halo Infinite is out today as well?
So I don't think that's okay. Okay, they're not doing that. But
are you sure?
They need to pre-order and ship the boxes, Kozi.
Yeah, there's no way in hell that they're doing anything even remotely like that. But
maybe it's like a Kojima game. Maybe it's like you've had the Xbox Series X all along. You've been playing it all along.
It's available. What if they pull an Apple? It's available in mid-August and pre-orders start the following day.
That's also not going to happen.
That would be crazy, but it'd be awesome.
That's also not going to happen. What I genuinely believe is going to happen is because Microsoft before they announced the date of this event, they talked about how they were doing a demos event. That a lot of the games that they're going to be showing at this event are going to have demos. Halo Infinite is going to have a demo released as soon as they're done. Like they're going to. I'm calling it right now that they're going to be like Halo Infinite. This is the game. This is the gameplay. Multiplayer beta available now on Game Pass. They're going to do it. Like, I am calling it now. There's going to be because every major Halo game except for 4 has had a beta, and Halo 1, I guess. But that of course they wouldn't have a beta. So like Halo 3, Halo Reach, and Halo 5 all had betas. I really do believe that we're going to see this. It's going to be like it might even be their battle royale mode that is inevitably going to be in Halo Infinite, because that's probably going to happen. Like, we're going to see Halo Infinite is going to be playable this summer. Mark my fucking words.
All right, here's my monkey paw wish for you.
Oh boy.
Everything that you're saying comes true. It's the Halo Infinite beta is available almost as soon as the July showcase wraps. However, the art style of Halo Infinite's beta's battle royale mode is exactly like Fortnite.
That would be amazing.
Oh God.
I was going to say everything that you said comes true, except it's Perfect Dark and not Halo.
No, Perfect Dark's going to be made by the Initiative.
That's what you're thinking?
I think so. Like, we know it's got to be in development. It's got to be in development. The Initiative is supposed to be this quadruple A studio. They're going to show something. We're going to see a new Fable game. We're probably not going to see Gears, just because Gears 5 came out last year, so I think it's too soon for them.
Yeah.
But we're going to see at least those. We're probably going to see a new Forza, and we're going to see something. We're going to see Hellblade 2 for sure. Like, there's a few things that we can kind of for sure tell that we're going to get. And Microsoft needs to... I don't think they need to compete. Last thing, I don't think they need to compete with Sony in the sense that they need to have like these huge AAA third-person action adventure games, because we have 1 billion of those on PlayStation. But I want Microsoft to really take, like, they have a lot of diversity in the games that they provide to people. Like, just go forth with that. Compete, like, have a first-person shooter franchise that Sony doesn't really have a good first-person shooter franchise. Killzone fucking sucks. Like, you have Killzone is really bad. Regardless,
it's not really bad. It's pretty good.
Good.
I didn't like
Shadowfall was
it's
really,
not
really
great.
bad.
We'll have a franchise rehab episode on Killzone in the future.
Regardless, like, just take advantage of the fact that you don't do the same things that Sony does, but still make the games that people want to play. Just really, I hope to God I don't see a game that looks like The Last of Us on Xbox. Why? Because we already have the fucking Last of Us. Be different. Do not be sorry. Be better.
They already have that.
All right.
Hellblade.
And finally,
yeah.
Ubisoft is having a Ubi Forward event on July 12th. Going to be a lot of hot news and reveals. Cool. I don't have anything really to say about this either. Not because I don't care about Ubisoft, but
I hope we get a release date for Watch Dogs Legion.
The only reason I threw that in there is, are we reacting to that as well? I asked that in our private chat. No one responded to me.
Oh.
think that would be your answer.
I'm fine with. I don't think we need to react to it. If at
All
most
right.
we can do a bonus episode, but I don't think we need to react live to it.
Cool.
Yeah, I think I'm working during this Sunday anyways. So
Okay.
I don't know. I don't need to. You don't need to see the sheer disappointment on my face when it's 20 minutes of Just Dance.
oh yeah, we're gonna get lots of Just Dance. You need
And they're all going to be wearing masks. It's going to be
NBA.
They're all gonna be. It's all gonna be remote.
They're all going to be 6 feet
All right.
apart.
Everybody give
news-
one quick prediction for Ubisoft.
Rayman.
Splinter Cell.
Rayman.
Splinter Cell is going to be in Ghost Recon. Sam Fisher is going to be in Ghost Recon.
Star Fox
Cool.
Grand Prix comes back and it gets announced here. It's being developed by a UB studio.
Beyond Good and Evil 2 is officially next
All
year.
right, that's more than one prediction for everyone. We need to move on.
That was my one.
Okay. All right. With the news out of the way, we'll quickly do the read, watch all the things. First off, apparently there's a Sims TV series that's coming to TBS. It's apparently, I don't really care about this. Does somebody care about this?
No.
I just
Somebody
put it in there
put
because
this
I found
here.
it interesting. That's all.
Won't it just be Big Brother?
No,
Honestly,
it's actually like a creative thing where they get 2 hours to create something and they gets judged by a panel.
What should have been on the rewatch all the things is the fact that Fallout is getting a new TV show. I didn't.
Oh,
even
that
realize
too,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, we.
Someone called Martin O'Donnell made a video called "Be Nice to a Goose," and somebody wanted to.
This is in reference to he did an interview really recently, and he basically like brought to light that Activision sucks. I know, shocker, but
Yeah.
some of the stuff that he talked about while he was at Bungie dealing with Destiny, he has this whole saying about "Be nice to the goose, and you'll get golden eggs." And then an Activision executive said, "But you know, every now and then you want a good frog McGraw." So, like, at that point, it's like, you know that there's something fucking wrong with that when that's kind of the mentality that they're going in with that. That's why Destiny was the way that it was until they split with Activision. It's a really great video, and this basically was just released to just like say fuck you to Activision.
See, here's the thing. When I saw the title of this video, I thought, oh, what's this goose bullshit meme video? And learning that it's actually like something really serious and pertinent to Activision and Bungie and that old shenanigan. I mean, yeah, I agree. Go and give this one a watch. And finally, there's a video in relation to Master Chief, the Master Chief collection. Apparently, Halo 3 is... Wait, wasn't Halo 3 already part of the Master Chief collection?
It's coming
Not on PC.
Yeah,
Okay.
PC they did a timed release.
Yeah.
launch.
This is the first time that Halo 3 is ever going to be on PC. It's a huge event. I'm really excited about it. Next week, I will talk about it.
I'm beginning to realize...
What?
It's for Alex.
It's good. It's huge for the Halo community. Let me.
So it's huge for Alex.
It's huge for the Halo community because it's the first time it's ever been on PC.
You know,
hopefully we get good custom games.
You know, Alex, I'm beginning to realize there are some video game series that you talk about an awful lot. We all like to make fun of you for talking a lot about Persona 5 Royal, but you talk about Halo way, way more than even Persona 5 Royal.
If we started this podcast last year, I would have been not talking about Halo because there was nothing to talk about. This is a rare year.
Okay, and finally, last but not least, there's a few more games coming to the Nintendo Switch Online. Correct, Mitch?
Yeah, the most important of which is that the original Donkey Kong Country for the SNES is coming to the SNES Online service. Go play it. Game fucking rocks.
Yeah, it's a good game.
Sometime next week.
By the way, there are 2 other games that are coming as well, but apparently nobody cares.
I don't even know what one of them. Immortal, I believe, is the NES one. I don't think I've ever heard of that one.
It doesn't matter. We're getting Donkey Kong Country. That's what matters.
How long before we get N64 online?
Knowing Nintendo, like 3 years.
Not soon enough.
And we'll get 2 games over the lifetime of it.
But we'll need a terrible 1-stick controller to play.
What about Game Boy? Put Game Boy on there. Game Boy should be next, technically.
I mean, the Game Boy Advance as well. Don't forget about that one.
GBA and N64 were both on the Wii U, and it worked fine. So
give me my Game & Watch.
Any reason why they're not doing it on the Switch other than that they don't want to?
I don't think they like money anymore.
All right, everybody, let's talk about today's topic of the show. But before we get into the topic of the show proper, we need to resolve something here really quickly, which is that we need to determine what the name of the topic of the show segment that we're about to engage in is going to be. Normally, this would have been 5x5, but I kind of made it clear that, look, I want a name that is a little bit more indicative of what the show is actually about. It can still be nonsensical and silly and funny, but let's try and move it a little bit closer to what basically 5x5 is actually all about.
Why do we call it 5x5 in the first place?
Because I came up with a weird name that seemed to work well for being short, and for Twitch and for Twitter and for the episode titles.
Well,
That's it.
Well, I think I came up with it, and it was just because we initially talked about picking 5 games by 5 people.
Exactly. It made sense in its original conceptual form, but now it doesn't really make sense anymore.
What if it's 4x5?
I said 4x3
because it's 4x5, 4 things by 5.
So I said 4 people, 3 rounds. 4x3 could also work.
That gets you to 12, which is what we go to normally anyway.
That's only if we want numbers in it. I know Kozi had a couple ideas as well.
Yeah, I proposed a couple of names in our group chat that I think are a little bit more indicative of the games, like what exactly the game is actually about beyond just the number of articles that are discussed in it. One of the ones that I came up with that I personally am running for is Only the Best. And one of the things that we talked about ahead of the show is that, like, you can put whatever it is that we're discussing for that episode, like Only the Best, I don't know, Canadian video games, and you put it together and there you go. Only the best Canadian video games, or only the best Ubisoft games, or only the best video game villains, so on and so forth. The possibilities are endless, just like pizza pockets. There was also Time Well Wasted, which I also like, but obviously you can't really combine it together into neat titles.
The show.
But it is more accurate to the show.
I think that just makes a good subtitle to the show. Just press YYZ : Time Well Wasted.
Yeah, I mean, it is also like, I feel like there's like, didn't Comedy Central have that as their slogan as well?
That reminds me of something.
Yeah.
So then
Comedy Channel, yeah, I think.
So the 2 that I threw into the chat, or into the Discord that we have as well, were 4x3, which I mentioned earlier, of it being 4 hosts, 3 rounds, or 3 games per host, and there's 4 hosts, or rank 'em, which is short and sweet.
Jeebus, has been mentioning how he likes rank 'em, and he just posted this comment. All right, let's look at the best Ubisoft games and rank 'em, which I like that quite a bit. That.
Yeah, when you put it all together like that, it works the same way that your original Only the Best kind of works. Just swap them a little bit.
I mean,
and it mentions
stuff with that, but.
Also, I want to be careful about Only the Best, because let's be honest, WWE 13 got into the best narrative.
Only the Best.
Yeah.
I mean, we did have Kingdom Hearts.
I mean, Kingdom Hearts was there too, so it made
and Kingdom Hearts should have been number 1, so it's clearly not the list that it's inaccurate.
Negative 21.
Let's not get into this. Let's not get into this now.
Thank God. Oh no, wait, Kingdom Hearts does have trophies. Fuck.
So, do we want to settle on?
Wait.
Mitch.
Talking, yeah.
I've already decided, because you interrupted me, whatever you go with on your first round of what we're about to do is going to go at 4.
No, it won't. I'll have a good argument for it. Trust me. I did some research.
I think we can all agree for the time being that we're just going to call it rank 'em. It might still change in the future. I'm not saying this is 100% set in stone, but if we spend any more time arguing here, we're going to deprive people of us discussing the best PlayStation Platinum trophies.
Talking about trophies? Who would have thought?
I have 0 platinum trophies. I'm ready.
I have a list up of my trophies. I'm ready.
I have like 9.
Yeah,
I have a list up of platinum trophies, but it's not my own.
I've got my list of my 43 platinums, so I'm ready to talk about this.
All right,
Kozi, just for reference, how many platinum trophies do you have? Do you know?
I think 157.
157. Okay. Jesus, I must not have refreshed the page.
Yeah, I wanted to. So hold on a quick second. I'll pop up my PSN profile's name. Yep,
it is.
There we go. Yeah, it is this thing where I've been wanting to get to 200 by the end of this year, but a lot of things have been taking up my time. Probably not going to get to that. I could theoretically just play a bunch of easy platinum games and get there real quick, but anyways, So, Alex,
Hello.
you're up to bat.
Ooh,
Tell me.
Okay.
What is a PlayStation Platinum trophy that I should care about?
Well, the one that I think, because trophies weren't initially on PlayStation until the PlayStation 3, but it was well into the PlayStation life cycle. I'm Googling what the name of the Platinum Trophy is. I'm sorry. The game is...
It's, for the record, it's fine. You don't have to actually state the name of the Platinum Trophy.
Okay,
like, you can just say the Platinum for
Okay,
X, Y,
I
and Z.
think
I wasn't going to get you on that.
Okay, I wasn't sure. You know, sometimes people like to gotcha. Specifically
I know.
Mitch, usually when he hosts. So I appreciate your...
You guys don't let me host
Okay.
anymore, so it's fine.
Yeah, so the platinum I'm talking about is the first platinum trophy ever introduced, which is for Uncharted Drake's Fortune. I think
Okay.
the list itself is a very good list. It's, kill people with like certain weapons in the game. It really, I mean, the hardest trophy is to just beat the game on the hardest difficulty, which is not, to be fair, you are doing it on the PS3, which has not the greatest controls, but it was the start of, just like the motto of Uncharted, Sig Parvis Ma. That's not how you say that, but greatness from small beginnings. It was the first time we ever saw trophies, the first platinum trophy you could possibly get. I think it deserves to be on this list because it started something great, which trophies are better than achievements, in my opinion, because of the platinum trophy.
All right. Well, it has to go at number 1 for the time being.
I thought we talked the last time that it didn't have to.
It doesn't have to, but,
I mean, there are
Yeah.
occasional rare moments where we have to put things at the bottom of the list, but we don't have to talk about that right now. Right, something like that. But I do want to say, regardless whether it's deserving to be at number 1 or not, that is a good platinum trophy. That was a difficult one for myself to earn, but I think that it's well deserving of the spot for the time being. One thing to note is that I'm going to add the percentage next to all of these game names of how many people in general have earned the platinum trophy on psnprofiles.com for something that I will be revealing later on. So please keep an eye out for that. All right.
I realized
Nathan.
I didn't create the doc for the 5.5. Do you want that, Kozi?
Sorry?
He's already.
I really. Oh, he's got it. Okay, good.
already.
'Cause
Yeah,
All right, cool. I forgot to make it, so I'm glad you were on that. Thank you.
no problem. Nathan?
So
You're up.
I'm looking at my trophy list here, trying to figure out which one I want to bring forward to you. I'm going to go with my first platinum trophy that I got on November 10th, 2012. And it's for a Vita game called Virtue's Last Reward. It's part of the 999 series. And really, I hadn't played 999 because it was only on the DS. But when I saw the reviews for Virtue's Last Reward and it was a Vita game and I wanted to play games on my Vita, I picked this up because it sounded like it was my type of thing. It was an escape room type game. I ended up doing 2 playthroughs. But what really stood out to this game was this branching story path with different timelines in the game, but the timelines started to merge or talk to each other. And then it turned out that they weren't separate timelines. And it was this really cool narrative experience. But to get the platinum, it didn't require anything crazy, but you had to find every little nook and piece of the story in order to get it. It was my first platinum. It's the first time I chased to get a platinum. So I feel like that's it should be on the list.
The Zero Escape games are games that I've long paid attention to, have never really delved into. I will say this, like, even in a game that seems as riveting as something like Virtue's Last Reward, I don't necessarily love the platinums tied to visual novels, but at the same time, it does seem like it was probably an easier time, at least physically, to get through than something like Uncharted Drake's Fortune. So I think I'm going to have to put Virtue's Last Reward at number 1. Congratulations, Nathan.
So that's how we're
No problem.
doing this.
Well, I mean, I am kind of deciding on these things on the fly, so
Fair enough.
you'll have to excuse me.
Are you planning on showing this whatever doc you're working on stream? Because
Yes,
it's not
yes.
showing right now.
He has multiple times.
Okay. I'm just not seeing it. That's all.
Okay. Whew. All right, Mitch. I'm going to want you to go next.
Sure. I'm going to follow kind of what Nathan did and talk about the first platinum trophy that Kozi ever unlocked. And it's, as far as I know, the reason he bought a PS3. And that's Mass Effect 2. And it deserves to be on this list because it's the first platinum trophy that Kozi ever unlocked. And that's my argument.
If it's not a good argument, that goes at number 4.
Please talk about some of the. You got to talk about some of the trophies at least, like trying to get all of your party members to live through the suicide mission. That trophy was super satisfying to get. Well, I got the achievement for it, but you know, same thing. You got to know what you're talking about.
No, I don't.
I had such faith in you going into this, Mitch. Such faith.
There is a method to my madness. Just wait.
That is definitely not the answer I thought it was going to be.
Exactly.
I think he's going to try and argue it later.
All right.
Wild card.
Are we playing with my arguing rules where everything moves around like crazy? I like that.
I hope not.
Kozi.
You don't have a very high bar to hit here. You just have to be better than Mitch's argument, and you can score a pretty decent spot on this list.
Okay, so first of all...
I had a good argument. It's Kozi's first platinum. It's very important.
Kozi, I need to apologize to you, because while I did take your challenge seriously in the research of platinum trophies, I did not feel confident in my abilities to discuss how good or bad they were. Before we came into the podcast tonight, I did not know that you had a plan with regards to the percentages for the game at some point. So I came into this with my own plan, which was a little bit of a funny bit, and it's gonna have to be what it's gonna have to be because I can talk to these, but I can't necessarily guarantee they're good unlocks, if you will.
Okay.
So the first thing I'm gonna bring up, right? If you want to be technical, PlayStation copied Xbox when it came to trophies. Trophies were an afterthought. They thought, oh, we don't need these things. Xbox launched with achievements. Everybody loved achievements. And then, yeah, PlayStation came in and improved on that concept. But Perfect Dark Zero has, for a launch game of launch achievements, a somewhat decent list because it has the normal achievements that you go through when you go through the story. It has co-op variants of those. And it also has some multiplayer achievements where you can, where very simply it's, you know, get 10, get 100, get 1,000. Now, people normally turn their head at multiplayer achievements, but these ones you can just do in bot matches. That makes them good. So
I have a worse argument than Mitch.
What do you mean? I at least had an argument.
But there's no platinum trophy. We're ranking the platinum trophies.
It's not just the achievement list.
100% is the equivalent of a platinum trophy.
It's not.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the second time ever in the history of this segment on Press YYZ, I'm afraid that I'm not even going to rank your entry on the list.
All right.
I will note its name here, just for posterity's sake. But
don't forget its percentage.
Yeah.
0%.
Bro?
Yeah, because this is...
It doesn't have a platinum.
If you think about it, if you get 100% of the achievements, it's 100%. So really, by the end of this game, I'm going to get 400%.
You only have 3 games you put on the list.
300%.
This game is off to a very, very interesting start. Alex, I need
Wait, am
you
I
to do
still
your
in
best.
fourth?
Yes.
Well, we're tied. Oh, I guess you're placing.
No, I meant that did the game still go to fourth even though his went to last?
Okay, I'm gonna pick a platinum trophy that was my first platinum trophy, but that's not gonna just be the argument. It's gonna be because it was a great list of trophies. You do everything in the game. You couldn't. One of the biggest things about trophies I really appreciate is having them be you can get it all in one playthrough. There's no missable trophies. So many people talk about how this is their first platinum, and it's Marvel Spider-Man.
Oh, that was on my list.
It's such a fantastic list. It's because it's such a fun game that you just want to do everything, and that's why it probably has a super high percentage. Just in comparison to normal platinum trophies, it's because it's such a good list. Isn't it also is also just the trophy name, I believe, is like be greater, which is like the motto of the game, and it's just such a good message to have.
It is correct. In fact, the platinum trophy is be greater, which good on you for actually remembering that. Again, it wasn't important that you remember the name, but I gotta be honest, I'm really impressed. I think that this is going to have to go at number 1. And for the record, Mitch, your Mass Effect 2 one will still stay at number 4. I'm just going to push Virtue's Last Reward and Uncharted Drake's Fortune down to number 2 and number 3.
Whatever. You know I had a good argument. You know you want to put Mass Effect 2 higher.
Solid. I mean, if it's the same as it's a pretty solid list.
I could have told you the name
It
of the platinum.
literally is the same as the achievements.
Except it has the N7 Elite trophy, which is the platinum, which the achievement list doesn't have, and that's the one you're striving for.
It's true.
All right, Nathan.
Kozi?
All right, Nathan.
All right. I'm looking at my list now. I've got a personal one I want to bring up, but yeah, I'm going to go with that one. My 30th platinum that I got on August 12th, 2017. It's for a game called Chromagun, which was a Portal-like game. The reason why this platinum feels special to me was I was the first person in the world to platinum this game.
Wow.
I got an early review code for it. So I was reviewing it and I played it right through to getting the platinum trophy for it without guides or anything. So it basically is kind of like Portal, except you have a gun that shoots colors and you have to use the colors in unique ways to get through different puzzles and such.
Is this is this a game with a VR component to it, or is it entirely a VR game?
No, it's not a VR game. So
only review VR games.
Because I'm looking it up right now on PSN profiles, and there's Chromagun and Chromagun VR.
Oh, the regular Chromagun.
Okay, just asking.
Yeah, no, you're right. Actually, they did release on VR eventually. I don't think I played that one. Yeah, no, I was. It wasn't Portal. Nothing will ever quite be Portal. But it was a good game, and I played it through and kept playing it and had to find everything and scour for all the secrets. And I was the first person in the world to platinum this game.
So, I mean, first off, you being the first person in the world that platinum this game is very impressive. I don't want to take away from that. I also, even though we're not talking about the PlayStation VR version of this game, I do want to tip my hat to us sort of directly, indirectly referencing PlayStation VR through this game, even though, again, it's not on PlayStation VR. I will say, though, this is a game currently on psnprofiles.com. The average platinum completion for this game is 76.20%. Means it's not super rare, so I can't rate it super high, but for the time being, I think I'm going to put this at number 3. I hope you're happy.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, you don't sound super enthused. I want to make it clear. I am very pleased with you being the first person in the world to platinum this game. It's just,
I get it. It's a list. I got another one or two. You should maybe take AJ's turns away and give them to other people.
No.
okay with
AJ will get his round. All right, Mitch.
Okay. You want a rare platinum, I'll give you a rare platinum. This is one that on PSN profiles, only 2.52% of players have achieved this platinum trophy,
Here we go.
including one Alexander Kazina, and that is
Oh.
Luminous Remastered on the PS4. It
Interesting.
is one of the rarer platinums. It is the rarest platinum that Kozi's unlocked. And just by virtue of that, I think it deserves a spot on this list. Kozi's list of best platinums.
It's the same argument.
So, like, real talk for a second here.
Yeah.
This game, you are correct that this is a pretty rare platinum trophy. It is indeed sitting at 2.52% in terms of completion. This was definitely far from the hardest platinum that I ever achieved. I would say that I think that the problem with puzzle games is that
rarest.
There's a lot of people that go into puzzle games that, like, their brain is just not configured in a way that they are able to get it. And so I think that a lot of them kind of quit early. With me, Luminous is just like, yeah, I kind of get it. And I mean, there are also like certain little tricks and tips and whatnot that you can take advantage of that game to make life easier for you. So like,
I quite respect you for that as well. Cause I never played Luminous before the remaster. I picked it up on the Switch and I enjoyed it, but I hit that wall you're talking about of, it just didn't click for me. I couldn't wrap my brain around it. So just kudos for you for being able to fight through that and figure it out and get this platinum.
Thank you. I mean, look,
you're welcome.
I can't put it at number one because, like I said, it's not like my proudest platinum trophy, despite it being one of my rarest, but it is definitely a step up from your previous response. And considering that your last one slotted in at number 4, this one is going to have to go in at number 3.
Come on.
I mean, I said it was exactly a step up. And what is a step up from 4? 3.
Some people skip steps.
That's true.
So put it at 2, you coward.
No. I think I'm going to sit it comfortably at number 3. All right, AJ. You have a chance to redeem yourself here. AJ?
Should have unmuted my mic. I thought I had a chance to redeem myself, and I just did some more research into it, and I don't think I'm going to make the list with this one either. But it won't be my fault this time.
Okay.
So, the only game on Xbox that I got 100% of the achievements for is a little multiplayer game called Battlefield 1943, which was just a little... It's just Battlefield, but it's multiplayer only, and it's, you know, only a handful of maps, but it's got really good achievements. Now, I just looked it up on PlayStation. This is one of those fucking PlayStation games that didn't have a fucking platinum trophy.
This is what I was just about to get at. Like, I went and looked this game up because, unlike Perfect Dark Zero, Battlefield 1943 not locked exclusively to the Xbox ecosystem.
I thought I had a chance here.
I went to PSN profiles. I'm like, oh, look at that, Battlefield 1943. I can actually, I'm not going to rank AJ's pick here super high, but I can at least rank it on the list. And then I see it has no platinum trophy.
Why the fuck? EA? Why the fuck, Battlefield? Why is there no fucking platinum trophy?
All right,
multiplayer only games typically didn't
AJ,
have trophies from.
I'll give you a second chance. You have to argue for another Battlefield platinum trophy. You have 10 seconds.
Battlefield platinum trophy. Battlefield 3 was a great game, all the way through, especially in the multiplayer.
All right, you just barely hung on there. You're gonna go. That one's gonna go at number 7.
It's on the list. You made the list.
Hey.
You just barely made it. And by the way, just so you're curious, on the PlayStation 3, wow, apparently only 3.03% of players got the platinum trophy for this game.
Huh. Didn't have a platinum trophy.
No, I'm talking about Battlefield 3.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I wasn't paying attention to that part.
All right, Alex.
All right,
let's go.
I'm gonna choose a game that if you get the platinum trophy in this game, you like if you can do it, then it just puts it's Bloodborne. I think Bloodborne deserves to be on this list because it is a test of all of your skills as in a Soulsborne game. I think Bloodborne is the best Soulsborne game. It's not my favorite, but I do acknowledge that it is probably the best one. And I just think that the list is worth talking about because if you see someone with that platinum trophy, then you just know that they have dedicated a lot of time as well as a lot of skill, and it's one that you have to truly earn. And at the end of the day, trophies deserve to be earned and not just given away.
I mean, I think that that's a very fair and valid point. Bloodborne was one of those games that I logged a lot of hours into. I had every intention of going through and beating it and platinuming it, and then I just kind of got sidetracked and bored and stopped playing it. So, I can't, in my mind, rank this platinum as high as I rank, say, my platinums for the Souls games, the Dark Souls 1 and 2. But I do want to tip my hat towards it, and I, of course, need to rank something better than Battlefield 3. So I'm going to put it at number 6.
All right.
Yeah, I'm sorry that...
This point's going to rank higher than Battlefield 3.
I'm sorry that I didn't rank this one as high as some of your previous ones, Alex, but, you have to understand.
That's fair. I mean, it's the only one on this list that I don't actually have myself, so, I mean, it kind of deserves to be not that far up.
Yeah. This is also an interesting example of how hardcore the player base is on a website like PSN Profiles, where Bloodborne has an average percentage rating of 21.54, and something like Bloodborne way harder than something like, say, Luminous Remastered.
Or a little
bit way harder. But that's just how hardcore and dedicated the player base is on a website like PSN Profiles. Hold on a second. Let me make sure that I change the name over there. All right, we're good. Okay, Nathan, what do you got?
All right, so I scanned my trophy list. Number one, I just want to say, Kozi, that you are probably the nicest host in, I guess now rank 'em, not 5x5, that we've had.
Thank you.
You are the most rational and fair host.
Thank you.
So I just want to put that out there. So I was looking at my trophy list, and because of one trophy on this game, I think it should be on the list. And it's the Grim Fandango Remastered Platinum that I got on October 1st, 2016. This is a game that I actually went back to a year and a half later and platinumed because I love the original Grim Fandango so much. Because I beat the game and then I had to go back and play it the right way. And the trophy that I'm referring to get the final platinum is called The Right Way, where you have to play the whole game with the original tank controls. And the quote is actually play the whole game with tank controls. Tim, as in Tim Schafer, demanded this trophy. And I think it's one of those lists which is fair. A lot of it's story progression. You still have to do a few weird things like find exploration, just use a hole punch that aren't necessarily story related that you can miss. But this gives it a little bit of a, I don't want to say hard, but you have to work for this trophy because you have to play with the not as modern controls to get this platinum. So I think it's worthy on being on the list and probably pretty high.
Here's what I'm going to say. You mentioned how I am going to say a lot of but I am also going to say this. Previously, at the very beginning of this list, we talked about Uncharted Drake's Fortune and how that was a very early platinum trophy. The thing about Uncharted Drake's Fortune is that it also set kind of a bad precedent of platinum trophies of being all right, you beat the game on hard mode, now beat it on crushing mode, now beat it on the super hard difficulty mode. And normally these harder difficulty modes, all that they do is they just make it so that the enemies are tougher and bullet spongier. And I appreciate the idea of playing through Grim Fandango twice and not the game getting harder, not because the puzzles are harder or because you have to fight harder enemies, but because the entire control scheme changes. I think that obviously that's, a nuisance in its own regard, but I find that more interesting than just the enemies get bullet spongier. So I'm going to put it above Uncharted Drake's Fortune at number 5.
All right, cool.
Whew.
I think with that, I think Nathan takes the lead.
Just
Not
barely.
mistaken. Yeah.
21.82%. And there we go. All right, Mitch, you're up.
I've been having fun with this, and like in terms of the picks that I've been putting out, because it's like, yeah, Kozi's first, Kozi's rarest, whatever. This one is going to be a game that I haven't personally platinum, but one that I do hope to achieve at some point. It gave everyone a reason to own a specific system, which there aren't a lot of system sellers on this list, which I think we deserve to have a few more of those here. And it's a relatively rare platinum trophy. It's one that let me just check. Roughly 6.5% of players have actually achieved, and that's Persona 4 Golden on the Vita. So, as we know, and Alex can attest to this, going through these Persona games and getting the platinums can be a bit of a challenge, especially with the way that they used to do their trophy lists. They weren't as intuitive as something like Persona 5 Royal. Just looking back at Persona 5, the base game, it was a lot harder to get that platinum. And Persona 4 Golden kind of falls into that camp where the trophy list wasn't like crazy difficult, but there were a lot of specific criteria you had to meet. And that's why not a lot of, I mean, for the size of the game, not a lot of players completed it, and even fewer got the platinum. And again, I have to say kudos to you, Kozi, for getting that platinum. And kudos to Sony and Alice for giving us a reason to own the PlayStation Vita.
I feel like there's a lot of ego stroking going on in this game.
100%.
Here's the thing, though. Like, you know, Persona 4 is a game that's very near and dear to my heart, and I can't deny that getting the platinum in that game was a really memorable experience for me as well. It was one of those cases where, you know, it was a grind. There was a lot of like leveling up personas and a lot of like itty bitty gritty stuff like that, which in theory shouldn't be fun, but in practice was honestly really enjoyable. Also, random fun fact, when I got the Persona 4 platinum, I think I was largely grinding for it in Toronto. It was like during a random trip to that city. So, you know what, Mitch?
Toronto.
While I still must deny you the #1 spot on this list, you are taking another step up, and you are going to #2 with Persona 4 Golden.
I'll take it.
This is it's a comeback story. Look at it that way.
I'll take it. I'm coming for #1 when it comes to the next round. Except I don't even know how we play the next round and rank them, so that'll be interesting.
It will be. I'll save it. All right. Also, apparently all of our competitors now are currently in dead heat. Alex, Mitch,
except
and Nathan
AJ, right?
are at #5,
He's not
except
really
for
a
AJ.
competitor at this point.
Yeah, AJ, prove to them why you're still a competitor worth talking about.
Also, please fix Persona 4 because it's you wrote Persona 3.
That's a mistake. Thank you.
Please fix that. That's gonna bother me.
So, originally, I was going to bring Halo 3 to this list.
Wasn't it?
But apparently I can't do that.
I mean, you can if you want to lose.
So, I'm going to go ahead and bring...
Wait, hold on a second. Okay.
Are you checking if Halo 3 has a platinum?
I was checking if there's a single game on the PlayStation Network that has Halo in its title.
Oh.
And there is not a single game.
Not even some weird visual novel with
nope.
Weird. That's
somehow.
I mean,
incredible.
Microsoft might put an end to that. So
I wasn't sure if there would be like Halo in like another word.
All right, proceed, AJ.
So I have chosen to go with what a bunch of fanboy play slaves have just for some reason back in the day decided was going to be the Halo killer, and it failed miserably. Killzone 2. Render, and they totally dropped it. It looked nothing like it on the PS3. Well, anyway, I'm looking at the trophy list here, and it all seems pretty straightforward. All the bronze seem pretty straightforward. Play the game, achieve a rank of... There's online trophies. You know, you got all those trophies. And it looks like all you need to do to get the platinum...
What do I need to do?
The trophies. So...
What kind of trophies do I need to collect, AJ?
I'm going to go with probably all the bronze, all the silver, and
Is there anything that you've noticed about those trophies that I haven't collected yet, AJ?
No. What's that?
Oh, platinum.
Here's the problem. Not only did I beat Killzone 2, but I actually beat Killzone 2 on its harder difficulty mode, which netted me the trophy for doing that. Nonetheless, I didn't go ahead and get the platinum for that game, because to get the platinum for that game, you have to get a bunch of multiplayer trophies. And multiplayer trophies are the bane of trophy hunters everywhere. So I'm afraid, AJ, that I'm going to have to put this at number 11.
Great.
You tried, though. That was their best argument. I'm going to give you that.
All I'm doing is pandering to the host.
All right, everybody. Here's how it's going to work for round 2. Everybody's going to get an opportunity to argue for why one of their games is better than another game on this list and get to swap places with it. However, the game that you target must be a game with a lower percentage completion rating than whatever game that you're putting against it.
Oh, so I'm just out of this round completely.
So, for example, Nathan could argue for Grim Fandango against Persona 4 Golden, because Grim Fandango has 21.8% completion rating versus Persona's 6. But he couldn't argue against something like Spider-Man, for example. But alternatively, he could argue Chroma Gun versus Marvel Spider-Man, because Chroma Gun has a higher percentage than Spider-Man. Get the idea?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I think so.
No, because all of mine have low completion rates.
We'll go ahead. We're already running a little bit late as it is. We'll go ahead and I'll let you know in advance if you're violating basically what I've set forth. All right, Alex, what do you want to do?
Uncharted should go at number... I can go kind of almost anywhere. Let's do number 4.
All right, so you want to take on Luminous Remastered. Why is Uncharted's Platinum a better Platinum than Luminous Remastered's Platinum?
I just think it's not stated enough that just like the fact that this was the first Platinum, it is the start of something great. Like trophies were this really... Sony was still finding their footholding, and for the first Platinum, it's not too bad. It set a standard. No multiplayer trophies. I don't think Luminous Remastered has any either, but I just think that's something we should take into account. I think the fact that it's the first one is very great, and Luminous Remastered, it's another Platinum trophy where Uncharted has a little bit of a legacy to it because it was first.
Mitch, what's your quick rebuttal?
Luminous also has a legacy going back as far as the PSP. It's a series that has followed Sony consoles through to this generation.
But it's nothing special to just like add trophies to a game that didn't have trophies before. Uncharted founded trophies. There's
not
so many
necessarily. Uncharted was not the first game to have trophies.
Yes, it was.
Just so you know.
It was.
No, it wasn't.
I mean,
I'm looking at a press.
It definitely spearheaded the movement, even if it wasn't the first
Quiz
one.
TV, Little Big Planet, Motorstorm Pacific Rim, NBA 09, Pain, Pixel Junk Eden, Resistance 2, SOCOM U.S. Navy SEALs Confrontation, and Warhawk were the first set of games that had trophies. They might not have had platinum trophies, but Uncharted was not the first.
Point? Uncharted has the first platinum trophy.
I didn't say they didn't. I just didn't do the research. But Uncharted was not the first game with trophies. So that argument is moot.
Trophy. That was my entire argument.
I don't know for a fact whether it did or not.
Uncharted might have not had the first platinum trophy, but I like Alex's line of reasoning there.
Can I finish my argument?
Okay, go for it.
The trophies as they existed in Luminous Remastered gave people a reason to continue to play the game. It gave people something to strive for in a puzzle game, which puzzle games historically have a specific, like, it has one gameplay loop and you go through that, but it gave specific targets for people to hit, and that's what you want out of a good trophy list. Uncharted just gave you shoot more bad guys, shoot them with this weapon, shoot them with that weapon. Big whoop.
I mean, I understand your point, Mitch. However, I still think, even if Uncharted might have not had the first, like, platinum trophy of all time, I still think that its placement in the historicity of the trophy it can't be understated. It can't be understated.
I'm trying to Google what was the first game to have a platinum, because I got Uncharted. Oh, first game with trophies at launch was Pixel Junk Eden. Uncharted was the first game to feature a platinum. Uncharted was the first game to have platinum. Unless Google is just lying to me.
It could be. Who knows? Google likes to lie.
Now, for the record, Mitch, you're still at 4, which means that you still have a good chance to make a comeback later on. But it remains to be seen when and how that's going to happen. I can't argue in
this round.
I know, not in this round, but in the future.
You made it so I can't win unless I argue against myself. Can I do that?
Just
let's play the game.
Please hold your turn while we go to Nathan.
Okay, well, to make points work so that I can actually get more points, I really have to argue Grim Fandango against Persona 4 Golden. That's my only option here. Otherwise, I'm just switching the same points for the same points. So yeah, Grim Fandango is probably one of the most classic games ever made. It's fantastic that we got a remaster on the PS4. It's something that I thought we'd never see, and it exposed a brilliant game for more people to play, very similarly to Persona 4 Golden. But what I think Grim Fandango has over Persona 4 Golden, which I've played both of them. I haven't platinum Persona 4 Golden. I've beaten it though. And it's a very lovely game, is the heart of Manny Calavera and the story that it tells in going through the different times with him and the different episodes almost, or the acts, the 4 acts of the game, and how you see his life progressing and how he's done for himself and the ingenuity. And honestly, it's a better story than Persona 4 Golden. Don't get me wrong, I love Persona 4 Golden. It's like A rank, just Grim Fandango's S rank in terms of this. And I think it's probably one of the best PlayStation Platinums out there. And that's why I made sure I went back a year and a half later to get it.
See, the problem is I feel like you didn't really make a big argument for why the Platinum specifically is better. You talk more about the quality of the game itself. Mitch, let's hear a rebuttal.
I mean, I don't really have much to rebutte. Like you said, Kozi, there wasn't a lot of talk there in terms of the trophies and the achievability of them. We've talked about the fact that Persona 4 is a bit of a grind, but that grind is still rewarding hundreds of hours into the game. It, like I said, it's a system seller. With it just being announced coming to Steam, people went berserk for it because people want to experience this story, this game, these achievements, these trophies, achievements on Steam, trophies on PlayStation, obviously. And I had another point, and I'm blanking at the moment. You didn't see the same sort of fervor around the release of the remaster of Grim Fandango as you're seeing right now with Persona 4 Golden coming to Steam, because ultimately Persona 4 Golden is a better game than Grim Fandango, trophies included.
That's right.
Yeah, I think that unfortunately Persona 4 Golden is going to have to remain at its current spot. I appreciated the other points that you made in your argument, Nathan, but at the end of the day, things have to remain as is.
I can't wait to get all the Steam achievements in Persona 4.
The way that things are currently set up, I don't believe that that Mitch or AJ have the possibility of arguing against anyone else.
I can argue against Lumines with Battlefield, but it's for 1 point. And Battlefield already has 1 point.
Yeah.
Can we just break the rules for me and AJ? Because you made the rules weird.
What I was going to propose. What I was going to propose, because again we are running a little bit late, is that I'll give you a bit of leeway in round 3.
Okay.
All right. So round 3, what I decided to do is I decided to create 4 different categories for 4 different kinds of basically trophies, and I was going to ask each of you to pick a number between 1 and 3 in your category of your choosing, and then I would hand you a platinum trophy of my choice for you to argue about. For you, AJ and Mitch, I'm going to make it a little bit easier, where I'm going to give you a heads up about what each category entails, and then once you've chosen the category, I will list to you your choices. So you will actually know what you're going to be arguing for before you have the chance to argue
fair.
for it.
And
Okay.
presumably then we will go after Alex and Nathan. As it would
Well, you're going to go
heading to them.
first.
No, wouldn't they go first? Because if you tell us everything, then they'll know everything.
Well,
Yeah, do that.
well, I mean, I won't tell you the individual games in each category. I'll just tell you the category names.
Wait,
And then
so
once you
how's it
choose,
going to work for AJ or for Alex and Nathan then?
can I just go with AJ first and then you?
Sure.
Okay. All right, AJ.
Yep.
So I have 4 different categories ahead of me. Category A is easy peasy plats. These are platinum trophies that are very easy to obtain. B is retrograde rewards. These are platinums for games that originally did not have platinums on the platforms they came out on, but later obtained platinums when they came to the PlayStation 3, 4, and Vita. C, the grind is real. These are for platinums where you have to grind an awful lot. And D is hard as actual platinum. These are for super duper hard plats. Which one do you want to choose?
I'm going to go with the first category, the easy ones.
Okay. Your 3 choices are 1, Super Weekend Mode, 2, Believer with an exclamation point at the end, and 3, Word Search by Paugi.
What was the first one called again?
Super Weekend Mode.
Okay, I am looking it up real quick. I appreciate your patience.
No problem.
If somebody picks a category, you can't pick that category anymore. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
That makes more sense. Thank you.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't explain that part earlier.
It's okay.
I figured that
It
was
totally
the case.
makes sense now.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't even tell what the game is like with this.
I've heard of Super Weekend.
Wow.
I think Greg Miller's
This
platform.
really is easy. Everything is in 196%.
Yeah, it has a weird
Wow.
like resolution. It's odd.
Wow.
All right,
It,
now you have to
yeah.
tell me, why is this a great platinum?
Why is it? Well, one, easy platinums are great platinums. I've heard this from Greg Miller. He's a good authority on the matter, and it seems pretty straightforward that you just have to play the game, right? And like, who doesn't love that? Like, where you just have to play the game and you get the trophies. Now, there's a difficulty, a trophy in here that you would have to obtain, but you know. If this game is as easy as it looks, it shouldn't be too difficult. And, you know, if you need something quick to pass the time, why not just get an easy platinum like Super Weekend Mode?
I didn't love this game as much as I thought it was going to. I thought it being an easy game was going to make me, you know, pretty quickly fall in love with it the way I fell in love with Taco Master and My Name is Mayo. At the same time, I can't deny the fact that, hey, I got the platinum in the end. So it's going to go above Bloodborne because I didn't get the platinum there. But that is only as far as it is going to go.
Okay.
That's a travesty. I have a feeling I've probably not played any of these games that are going to be on any of the lists, so I can't wait.
Okay,
All
that's
right,
happened to you
Mitch.
before. Can you remind me of the 3 remaining categories?
Yes. The 3 remaining categories are retrograde rewards, the grind is real, and hard is actual platinum.
Let's go with the hard platinums.
All right. Your choices are Titanfall 2, Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix, and Rogue Legacy.
Do I really want to put another Kingdom Hearts game on a list to piss off Alex?
You didn't put... There are no Kingdom Hearts games on this list.
Yeah.
No, they've been on previous lists, and I know how much it upsets Alex. So I'm going to be nice, and I'm going to argue for Titanfall 2, because it's a game I've played.
Okay.
Titanfall 2 is a phenomenal game with, like you said, it's got a relatively difficult to achieve platinum, but the trophies are not anything too outlandish. They're just some very difficult challenges in the game. There's a number of time trials that you need to be able to beat, and those can be incredibly challenging, but ultimately, game tells a great story, and the trophy list reflects that in that there's a lot that is simple enough to achieve, but it does have some real challenge to the grind. And ultimately, we all want to play great games, and Titanfall 2 is a great game.
Did you say that the time trials are not too annoying?
Uh-oh.
No, I said the time
The
trials are
one-
incredibly difficult.
The single time trial is infuriating.
And
Okay,
that's the one that people struggle to get to unlock the platinum.
It's the only.
But ultimately,
trophy
it's a
that's
great list
hard.
otherwise. Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to be clear that we were in cahoots in agreeing that the time trial in that game during like the introductory tutorial mission is very, very challenging, correct?
Great, yes. To unlock the trophy that's associated with it, yes,
Yeah.
it's undeniably a trophy I will never achieve.
All right, well,
But other than that, it's a great list. It's a great game.
I mean, I was concerned there that we were going to have a major disagreement, but no, I think we're both in agreement with each other. I can't rank it higher than Persona 4 Golden because that was just a lot more enjoyable the whole way through. But I am going to put it directly underneath Persona 4 Golden at number 3.
I'll take it.
I think I'm still winning.
Well, because
That's how
nobody
this last round goes.
in that last one almost.
Yeah, like Spider-Man just got to like stay at the top. Oh no, we're tied? No.
No,
okay,
I
so
think
we're-
you're
okay.
up by 1. Yeah, you're right. Damn.
Cool.
Yeah,
That's not
so
fair.
hold
Yeah,
on a second.
Spider-Man was just like
You put a game you haven't platinumed at the top of your platinum list, Kozi. I hope you're happy.
Yeah, I don't really know what to say about that. I think it kind of ended up there, and then I feel like the problem is that because I'm not as familiar with Marvel's Spider-Man in terms of its trophy list and platinum, I can't do as good of a job as comparing it to anything else that gets pitted up against it. Like something like, like I can more easily compare the platinum of Titanfall 2 to Persona 4 Golden. I can't as easily compare the platinum of Titanfall 2 to Spider-Man. That's sort of the issue.
That's understandable, but ultimately, at the end of the day, this is your list, and if you wanted to change it at the last minute just to fuck with Alex, you're welcome to do so.
I mean, I'll keep it in mind. I'm not certain that I'm going to act like that, but I mean, I'll always...
Understandable.
Anything is on the table. I'll put it that way. All right, Nathan. The two remaining categories for you to choose from are retrograde rewards and the grind is real.
The grind is real is going to be more RPG.
You don't know that.
Give me the grind is real.
All right. Pick a number between 1 and 3, which is to say inclusively 1 and 3, as well as 2.
4. No, I'm kidding. Give me 2.
It's qualified.
All right. You need to tell me why Barbie and her sister's puppy rescue is a great platinum trophy.
Oh, I need to research this game. 'Cause I don't know.
Just put it at number 12 and be done with it.
Now,
then
hold
I
on.
I can't
We have
wait.
to see his
while
argument.
he's researching it, why don't you tell me what my game is?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Sure. All right. So you're going to be retrograde
I'll choose
rewards.
2.
2. All right. You have to argue for God of War Chains of Olympus, which originally
Okay.
released on the PlayStation Portable and then later on was ported to the PlayStation 3 where it got its platinum.
That's a much better game to choose.
I mean, you can still make a better argument.
Yeah.
I almost argued for Barbie to start.
Okay. So I'm looking at the trophy list here for Barbie and her sister's puppy rescue trophy guide. And I see why you're saying it's a bit of a grind because there's a lot of work that needs to be done in getting certain numbers of things in order to achieve your platinum, which means that you're probably doing the same thing over and over again many times as you Barbie and her sisters rescue puppies in this game. There's lots of vaccinating, but here's the thing: it has puppies in it, and we all know that puppies are better than cats, and everybody loves a good boy, right? So I actually feel that this is probably the strongest trophy list, and actually should go above Marvel's Spider-Man. The more I look at it, just based on the tasks that you have to do for the dogs and the fact that you're, as Barbie, rescuing puppies. I mean, what's more nobler than that? And this trophy list really reflects the rescue of the puppies in that as well. So, like, that's about as rock solid of an argument that somebody could make to have that beat Spider-Man. I'm just putting that out there.
You're really gunning to put this one at number 1.
It should be at number 1. There's no question about it. I'm looking at this, and yeah, it 100% should be at number 1.
I'm really okay with that.
Especially while he's not here right now.
Oh, he's here, but I'm totally
here.
okay with it.
Oh, there he is.
Here, and
Oh, man,
that would
you're
be,
invisible.
No, I'm just reading the God of War trophy list.
I would honestly be okay with you doing that, Kozi.
See, the problem is that I will say this. I do think that puppies are better pets than spiders. I think we're all in agreement on that.
Yep, absolutely.
Look, I have to be honest. I have to go with what my heart is telling me to do, and my heart is telling me that I can't put it at number 1 because that means that it has to go above Persona 4 Golden. But I will put it at number 3. I will put it at number 3, which means that it's above Titanfall.
Fucking God.
That's some bullshit.
All right.
Actually, I think I'm okay with that because I think that puts me in the lead.
Does it?
I don't
Maybe.
think so.
Or maybe Nathan.
No, it doesn't. It
puts
doesn't.
Nathan above me.
Oh,
Alex?
Fuck.
Yeah, okay.
Well.
So, God of War, Chains of Olympus. This was developed by Ready at Dawn, which unfortunately no longer... It was back when they were used to make games for PlayStation. And they made 2 really good God of War games for the PlayStation Portable, which, you know, the PSP or the God of War was really like pushing the PlayStation 2, and the fact that they get a similar experience on the PSP, pretty rad. Trophy list when it came to the PS3 is actually pretty good. It looks to be on par with like a standard sort of like third-person action adventure game. Like there's no collectibles, which is honestly sometimes can be a really annoying. Actually, no, that looks like there are collectibles. Yeah, you know, like fine, collectibles are pretty all right. But like you just play through the game. Like, you play through the game, and you just like you upgrade your Kratos. There's a few missable ones, but the missable ones look like to be like not super terrible. Like you know, just follow a guide and you'll get the trophies. And they're very good God of War games that deserve to be. I don't fucking know. I haven't played this.
You tried your best. You tried your best. You didn't just blindly make fun of it like you tend to do when it comes to Kingdom Hearts, and I have to give you credit for that.
Solid. I mean, it's a solid God of War game.
I think 5 looks pretty good for that.
Here's the thing. I can't claim that I got the same thrill from platinum this game as I got from platinum, say, a game like Titanfall 2. But I can say that I am more familiar with it than I am with something like, say, Virtue's Last Reward, so it's going to go at number 5.
Hey.
Welcome, Alex. Just won this game for you.
Oh, fuck.
Wait, did he win with that?
I think so. I was trying to figure out the math that makes me win, but there was nothing that made me win. So if I can't win, at least Nathan loses.
Just knocked me right off the board.
Wait, fuck you.
Oh my god, AJ literally has 0 points.
Oh no.
For a moment there, I had like 30, but I don't know what happened.
Didn't think that was possible.
Well, I gotta say, Alex is our winner, but this was a surprisingly close match. I feel like up until the very end there, it wasn't obvious which of our 3 main contestants was going to pull ahead.
This is probably the closest that we've ever had.
Yep, for our audio listeners.
Kozi, can I ask you a question?
Yes. Hold on. I have to say your question, then I'm going to read through all of our entries.
I was going to bring up My Name is Mayo, but then you poo-pooed a list that had high amounts of people getting it when I did Chroma Gun. How would My Name is Mayo ranked on your list?
I feel like I probably would have put it like maybe above Uncharted, to be honest. Like I wouldn't have put it super high.
Okay, it wouldn't have made a difference then. Cool.
Yeah, sorry. All right.
No, it's all good.
So, at number 16,
you pushed Mass Effect 2 off this list. I hope you're happy with that.
You didn't make a good
review
argument
the top
for it.
10.
At number 16, the invisible, secret, dark, dirty zero spot, we have Perfect Dark Zero for a zero game. At number 15, we have Killzone 2. At number 14, we have Battlefield 3. At number 13, we have Mass Effect 2. At number 12, we have Bloodborne. At number 11, we have Super Weekend Mode. Finally, at number 10, getting into points, we have Luminous Remastered. At number 9, we have Grim Fandango Remastered. I didn't put the remastered next to the name, but you know what I mean. Number 8, we have Chromagun. Number 7, we have Uncharted Drake's Fortune. At number 6, we have Virtue's Last Reward. Number 5, we have God of War Chains of Olympus. At number 4, we have Titanfall 2. At number 3, we have Barbie and Her Sisters Puppy Rescue. At number 2, we have Persona 4 Golden. And finally, at number 1, we have Marvel's Spider-Man, arguably the MVP of this match for Alex.
Is the only reason. I won.
And nobody could attack it.
I mean, it's the best game on this list.
By the way, I want you to know, AJ, that I cut away from the Google Doc just as you put that message in there. So
Rude.
I apologize for
How
that.
rude.
All right, everybody.
Good list.
Well, this was an exciting episode of Press YYZ. If you want to kind of continue to follow our shenanigans on Twitter, see what we're up to next, you can find us at Press YYZ on the platform. You'll definitely want to pay attention to it in the coming days because we are going to be recording our, I was about to say Persona 4. No, our The Last of Us Part 2 spoiler cast pretty soon-ish. So yeah, pay attention to that. Nathan, where can people find you on the socials if they want to do so?
Check me out at _NMAC on Twitter, as well as follow me at ps4blog.net where I do my reviews, and you should see the review for Throw Anything going live very, very soon.
Alex?
On Twitter, I am blatantly _Alex, Instagram, blatantly Alex, and YouTube with my most recent video, Steal Your Heart, is blatantly Alex.
AJ?
One of my picks on that list was higher than one of Alex's and one of Mitch's, so I feel accomplished in that. You can find me all over the internet at Times Hero, capital T, capital H, Twitter, Instagram, all that fun stuff.
And finally, Mitch.
You can find me here every week where we record increasingly longer episodes of the show. And on socials, you can find me everywhere at Mr. Mitch George.
And you can find me on Twitter at Alex Kozina, ALXKZINA, and on Twitch at twitch.tv/CozyBearLive. Till next time, signing off.
Bye, guys.
Well wasted.
Time well wasted. The Comedy Central logo that we're appropriating for ourselves.
Absolutely.
Comedy Channel, I think.
Be better. Thanks for playing. Believe women. Black Lives
Achievements
Matter.
are better.
I already stopped my recording, so I hope you didn't want to leave all this in.